Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap of a trade that I took earlier this morning. It's November 30th, 8:56 right now. I took this trade right around 4 a.m. I've got it all on video for you. There was a couple of issues right at the beginning with Webull that I want to make sure to go over with you guys because it'll help you save money and also not miss out on good trades. So you can see here, it's like 4 a.m. I've got my pre-market top gainers list up. It's organized by volume. There, it's just refreshed to, the new pre-market, but nothing is loading. There's no stocks showing that they're really trading except for APXT. But I have my laptop up with the exact same list on Webull and organized the same way by volume, and I've got a few stocks popping up already. So you're going to see me start to type them in manually. The ticker symbols, you'll see me start to type them in. I'm clicking volume again just to see if I can get this thing to like refresh somehow or show me the same thing that I'm seeing on my laptop. So now I'm just typing in the ticker symbols manually that pop up on the list on my laptop. This happens for a little while here. I go, checking to see if there's any trade possibilities on those, and I go back to here. I'm just checking the float size, but then I go back to that same top gainers list. Still nothing. It still looks completely different than it does on my laptop. Now, so here I just restarted. You see I have chart loading issues. Keep in mind, this is on a fresh restart. I tried to do the refresh button. That wasn't helping. It's a fresh restart of my computer and a fresh start of Webull. And now I'm restarting Webull. And it looks like the charts were loading better, but they're not. You see I go from from ticker to ticker and still have some chart loading issues. So I'm already kind of like debating on, whether or not I even want to take a trade. But I do see a setup here on Idex because it had this big green candle. Lots of buyers came in and then selling off. And it looks kind of like a reverse 3 or 4 bar play, but it's not quite because you see the low of these candles is continuously getting lower and lower. A true 3 or 4 bar play, these candles the low of them would be almost equal or very close to the low of this candle. So this is more of a reversal pattern than anything else. So now I'm just checking the range of this candle because I was considering getting in on this one if it breaks the high of this one. This one has a high of 312, a low of 306. That's a 6-cent spread. That's a really nice stop loss. I prefer like around 5 cents or less. So this is 6 cents, so very close. If it gets to about 10 cents, then I start to reconsider. With the price of these stocks, 10 cents can make a big difference because you could be buying a lot of shares with these lower price stocks. So now I'm just waiting for the high of this candle to break. It's 312. This one's at 312. As soon as I see 313 or better, I'm getting in. This happens very shortly. I'm just looking at where the stop loss is going to be there. So let's see where we at. So we're at like 3 seconds before the next candle forms, and right there, I get in at 314. It's kind of like, look at the time. Is it on this candle or is it on the next candle? I actually traded it like I got in on the next candle because you see that I didn't get filled right away. I have a limit at buy at 314, and the ask was at 315, so that's why I didn't get filled right away. Let's see. So now I was getting ready to put in my 1R sell order to sell half at 1R. And I just figured, like earlier I said, okay, 6 cents was the spread. Let me just add 6 cents to this. I didn't want to be like too picky about, exactly 1R based off of, say, 1 cent below the bottom of that candle or something like that because we were having all these issues. So I wasn't feeling that good about this trade. I was just, the only reason I got in was because I liked the pattern and it had a nice tight stop so that even if things went south because of what was going on with the trading platform, it wasn't going to be the end of the world or anything. So there's my my 1R order. And with all this stuff that's going on, and then the trade isn't really, the price isn't really taking off. It's doing this choppy action here. As soon as I get a pop, I decide, you know what, let me pull this thing down. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to wait for 1R, but considering that's if like everything is going great, if the platform's working great, I got a great pattern, I've got a great entry, then, there's no reason not to hold to 1R. But here things aren't going quite so perfectly, so I just decide to let me take whatever profit I can get. And if this trade starts to go against me, I'm going to get out of it as soon as possible. Because I have no idea, like even when I go to get out, is this thing going to work or not? So luckily, now here's an interesting thing to note is that you notice how I pulled, this is a good lesson, how I pulled the sell order down from 320. I pulled it down to 317 when the price was at 318. Okay, so the price is at 318. I've got the order down to 317, so why doesn't it sell when my limit sell order is below the current price? Well, it's because of the bid. When you're selling to the bid, and the bid right now is at 314. You can see now there's a big spread on this, which is not good. You want to see like a 1 to 2 cent spread. And that happens sometimes in the pre-market, so you just have to watch out for that. And I try not to get into a stock if it has a big spread like this. When I got in, it was a 1 cent spread. But apparently some volume is kind of leaving at this point. So anyway, as soon as the bid gets to my sell price, then I get filled. I was just figuring that out for myself that's why my cursor's moving around. I just wanted to show you exactly when it sold and see if we could see where the bid. It must have just popped up for a second because I don't even think it registered. Yeah, it went to 316 here and I still got filled, but you could see the price, it's moving up. So I did get out. There had to be a bidder there at the 317, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten out. It just probably came and went so fast that it never registered here. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is part of like the glitchy stuff going on with Webull, because you can see well, let's see, that one made sense. Saying the bid is at 318 and it got me out at 318. So I'm just selling more, that I'm in the profit just because of all this stuff going on with Webull. Not feeling good about hanging out into this trade, so I'm just bringing my stop up to the bottom of the 1 minute candle. So I'm committed to sell out as soon as it breaks that level. I'm not even going to let it hit my entry. So now it's gone up to 324, but immediately comes back down. So my original idea when it went up to that candle is let me bring my stop up here. And you can see it started just jumping way down from 323. My idea was if it breaks 319 to get out, and it did, and then it popped right back up. So I hesitated a little bit just to see if it was really going to go up, back up or not, or is it going to keep coming down. So it's at 321, and I probably just should have sold the two there because I would have got a few extra cents. But when it tells me, okay, it's definitely not going back up, that's when I get out, which, I must have just done it right there. So it comes back down to 318 for the second time, and I definitely get out there. So that was a winning trade. It cost me about $18, that trade, because it was about $3 and some change there that I was in at. So it's a little over $18. My goal is always to get 1% per trade if I can, of course, so that would be 18 cents. I ended up only making 15 cents off of this trade, but hey, considering like all the crap that was going on with Webull, let me just show you right here on this page. Yeah, with all the stuff going on with Webull, I'm just happy that I got a green trade, and I get to add it to my trade tracker for the month. It's going to be my last trade of the month. I was debating on whether taking a trade or not at all today, and I just figured let me see if there's any action this morning. any good setups. Basically, if there was a good setup, then I was willing to take it. So here I'm just adjusting. I'm not even going to show you this because I already have it up here. So this is everything all done. And one thing to notice, if you're still sticking around, the trade recap is over, but this is good stuff here, is that after tabulating all of my results of November, not including, this is October here, but from November to today, I've made a lot more money in the pre-market trading than I have at any other time of the day. This is at the market open, and this is in the aftermarket. The aftermarket thing, a lot of that is because if you watch some of my other recap videos, I was taking trades while I had meetings going on in the background, so I wasn't, able to trade as well as I could have. So that's my fault. And then the market open, I think that's just an issue with volatility mostly, and also it's just scary as hell to trade these stocks right at the open, the way price whips around, and your stop loss could get really big really quickly, or it could blow right through your stop loss. So that's tricky, and it makes it harder to make money. In the pre-market, things move a lot slower, especially really early in the pre-market, and it gives you a chance to get in on some big runners. So I think that's why I'm making most of my money here in the pre-market. So anyway, that's it for the month. And notice too that even though I have this much money in my trading account for buying power to do day trades with, this is a cash account. So I'm not like trading with this amount or 4 times that amount like you would with a margin account where you get leverage. And that's what most traders are doing. So when they're talking about, I got 10% return on my account, I mean, what are they really saying there? Because is that 10% on their account, or is that 10% on their leverage? Because they're trading with 4 times their account. So I don't judge my results based on that. You cannot compare a cash account to a margin account. They're 2 very different animals. The way I make a comparison is I calculated how much I'm trading with per trade day, on average, and that was about $50. And then I consider, okay, what gains did I make for the month, and what's the percentage of that return based on what I can trade per day, and that came out to about 8%. So I'm pretty happy with that, because 8% gain on a new strategy that I've been ironing out, this whole month is really good. If I could get that up even just to 10% per month, I'll be happy. And yeah, it's going to be slow going, growing the account, but I'm going to deposit this exact amount into the account, so I'll have another $4 basically that I'm adding to the account, and it's going to start growing. Yeah, it'll be a little bit slow, but it's going to allow me to get really, really good at trading and to really master my skills and the strategy and the trading plan. So slow is better as far as I'm concerned. I see newer traders out there trading with big accounts or a lot of money, or they're taking huge risks trying to grow the account really fast, and it just ends up causing them to have loss after loss. Once in a while they get lucky and they get a big trade or even a green month here or there, and then they end up giving it all back and ending up negative. So I'm trying to avoid all that. I did a little bit of that in the beginning of my trading, so I kind of got that out of my system right away. And right now it's all about the slow, consistent gains. And once in a while, for me, like something like this or this is like a home run trade. And I do still get those once in a while. And unfortunately, I had one earlier this month, or basically last week at the beginning of the month, and I gave back most of those gains. It wasn't really greed or anything like that, but I think, well, in a sense it was, because I think one of my rules that I'm going to follow from now on is if I get a home run trade, meaning instead of that 1% I'm looking for, I get 4, 5, 6%, whatever, on a trade, then I'm going to quit for the day. Whether I would have made more money later on or not, it doesn't matter. I've already made, my like a big home run trade. So that's going to be a new rule, and that'll keep me from giving back stuff. You see, I did it over here actually before that rule was even in place, and it saved me all those gains, and I had my biggest week ever that week, so of this month. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys are trading well and doing well. It's going to be, I think, a strange trading day, being was Cyber Monday and the last trading day of the month. So I'm looking forward to coming back in fresh in December and hitting it hard and making some gains. All right, guys. See you then.